All right, we're back. Let's do a combat. Now I'm going to activate with this card. That corps again. I can use up to 2 combat cards with that. Anyway, they're activating. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, and 1, or I can go here. I could split them up. What else might I use? I'm going to also use an assault coordination, and I'm going to use fixed artillery. I intend on blasting that piece. So the assault coordination means all the pieces around it, so they'll be included in the combat. I'm going to move this here and here. Fixed artillery is involved. Fixed artillery has a range of 4 FAR on the 19th. Again, that's within 4 hexes of the west wall. Okay, so he gets to draw a card to possibly help him. That figures. So 5th Corps. Well, okay. So he's eligible for an undetected defender. If not that, then reinforced battle. If we go through the undetected defender, or redeploy all those rules, it will not let us deploy a piece if the target is surrounded. This is surrounded. He can also not get a reinforcement because you cannot move from a zone of control to zone of control. So this is not going to benefit from an undetected defender, nor will it benefit with a reinforced battle. So that's to our advantage. We draw a minimum of 2. There are 2 dots. One, 2. He is in a wooded hex. -1. He's also in a town. Not valid. So the town and the woods have already absorbed 2 hits. We have max draw of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No elite. 6, 7, 8. So we can draw up to 6 more tiles. I want all 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. The odds. We have 5, 9, 18, 27 to 3, which is 9 to 1. So that chip counts. Defender is not elite. Defender is not green. We're at 9 to 1 odds. Those are good. Only the attacker has armor. There's no air power. And it's greater than 5 to 1. Well, why did that attacker 1 hit have to sneak in there? So those offset. The town takes 1 hit, which means there's still 7 more defender hits to take. That piece is eliminated. I also have to take an attacker hit. So we'll remove the piece to the eliminated box. I'm going to take the hit to that piece. So the pair of them exert zone of control. All right. I'll be taking the town. I'm going to give myself my 2 victory points now. And we will move those pieces up. They'll be moving in there. I can advance 2. Any of these can advance. They're 1. They're armored. They can advance again as long as they're not going into another zone of control or forest, etc. It does me no good to advance him in there because I could not go to here. I don't want to go up there. I'm going to leave him where he is. I'll take 2 of these and advance as 1. Advance here as their 2nd. He's going to be stuck because of stacking limits. He's here to help attack him if I so choose. But I don't want to leave too many strong pieces behind. I need to get them moving west because we could get bogged down on these positions. They're at least surrounded now. And that's it. My artillery card did not come into play. That's all right. To the discards. I have no more to draw. Let's hop to an allied turn. Allied impulse. All right. Now there's a special, but it's for the 18th. So we're now on the 19th. Deploy Corps reserves for the 12th. There's none to deploy. We check for out of contact. Probably not, because we just deployed them. That does not count for out of contact because there's not at least 5 strength dots or combat strength of 8. He's in contact, in contact, in contact, in contact. Okay. There is no expedite on here. It's not yet the 20th, so we do not do replacements. So we check to activate all units. Very quickly, this piece is eligible for an improved position. That alone says we go into the activation phase. So again, we've got, if any of these are true, one of which is eligible for IP, then we do the activation with the 3 cards. Also, do we have any active non-dispersed units wandering behind enemy lines? We don't. No one's wandering behind enemy lines of this corps. So we draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Put them in numerical order. So 1, 9, 22. All right, first order of business. Fill the gap, starting with the highest numbered card at 27 on down. Looking at the 12th Corps only. The highest number looks like it's 7. Is the unit proximate to an empty position to which a German unit is also proximate? keeping in mind, preserve the line, avoid surround. So he's not proximate. You know, that's not going to preserve the line because we're creating a gap. So he's not going to be eligible. We could sort of look at all these. Unit preserve, let's see. Proximate to empty position to which German is proximate. We're proximate there. Position with a hold value less than 5 may not be in another Allied zone of control. So that's not valid. That's not valid because, you know, that would not preserve the line. Okay. He can't move there anyway. We're not proximate. We're not proximate. That one, we are proximate to that hex. He could move there. He would not be in danger of surround. He would be preserving the line. So that would be a valid move. Okay. So now we're only going to be considering these. So there's no more fill the gap. Attack, starting with the lowest numbered. So that would be this hex here. Unit or stack strength is greater than a proximate German unit stack. So their strength is 7. Oh. 6 and 7. Okay. It also says preserve the line. It says protect a VP hex. Let's take a peek at protect VP hex. Oh, they're not in a VP hex, so never mind. Okay. Now, in doing this, there's some rules of determining the German strength. The pieces add up to 6. There's a card here. So these cards are called situational, see the word situation, situational strength check. So the Allied combat strength, if they're attacking across the river, we cut them in half. Those would not be attacking across the river. The German strength, if they're defending in a city or a west wall, double their strength. They're not in a west wall. Okay. If they're in a non-VP town, in forest, or in improved position, they're in none of those. -1 if they're in the clear, out of supply, out of fuel, they're not isolated. So this is considered to have a situational strength of 6, and this is a situational strength of 7. So we're going to have combat. So the situation is valid. Move to the weakest qualifying target and attack. Actually, nope, we can't move him off of here. You know, I looked at for a moment if these were to go break contact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they would be leaving a gap in the line over here. So they would not move over to here. So this is the weakest qualifying stack. Other proximate units in the same corps reinforce, but they still have to preserve the line and protect the VP hex. So this piece would not come over to help reinforce because he is not preserving the line. Okay? So he stays where he is. So no one's going to help him. It's going to be a 1 hex attack, 1-to-1 odds. If more than 5 steps are attacking, there will be 4 steps attacking, 4 dots. If greater than 5 are attacking, break off at attacker 2 hits, otherwise 1 hit. And they will have artillery, and in addition to that, we draw 1 more card to use potential combat tactic. Reinforced battle, but we already know we cannot reinforce the battle. So that would count as 1 more chip draw. So their attack will be 7 strength to 6, 1-to-1. Their max draw will be 2, 3 for the artillery, 4 for the reinforce. So the max draw is 4. However, the minimum draw is, boy, that's a good question. Minimum is 6. I don't know that that's come up with me. Minimum is greater than the max. Let's just do a quick peek here. Minimum draw 13.4. Drawing combat chips. The required minimum is the number of steps in the defending units, regardless of any combat cards played or other factors. When you are attacking and have drawn the minimum number of chips, you may choose to stop or draw any number of additional chips up to a total equal to the maximum. Okay, I think we draw the 6 minimum, and there will not be a maximum. So 6 it is. And if they take attacker hits, they take attacker hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, attacker does have artillery. Oh, I should have played an artillery card myself. Oh well. The terrain we're in is broken. Does not apply. Attacker has artillery. Unfortunately, defender does not. Defender elite. Defender green. Nope. The odds are not greater than 2. They are less than 1.5 to 1. Certainly not 8 to 1. It's not 4 to 1. Attacker is not elite. Attacker is not green. So, defender takes a hit, attacker takes a hit. Well, we'll make this easy. We're going to take a hit against an infantry. And their rules will say, well, let's go to them. Assigning hits to attacking allied units. The first hit is a step loss. We only have 1 hit. Applying. Allied step loss to the participating stack with the most steps, selecting the highest numbered multi-step unit. So we only have 1 stack, and it's going to come a hit against the highest numbered, which is the focus there, is the 06. So the infantry takes the hit. So we'll throw our chips away. Now, we're still on this attack card. That was only that. We then go to the next piece. He might do an attack. Okay. So if the unit stack strength is greater than a proximate German unit, preserving the line. So he could move here. The line is still preserved, okay? Or he could move here. The line is still preserved. Okay, the next rules are going to say move where it costs the most movement points to get to. This costs 3, that costs 1. So he would move here. And then he is going to attack that. It does say other proximate units in same corps reinforce. This piece actually could move to here and still be preserving the line. Okay? We've not created a gap or enlarged a gap. This piece cannot move on because it's going zone of control, zone of control. So that piece can actually move in to help. This one could not. 1, he cannot reach them. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And he would also be creating a gap. So here we're actually going to have 2 pieces involved. If greater than equal to 5 steps are attacking, break off at attack 2. There's 4 steps involved. They will get artillery. They will also get to draw another card. This time, though, I'm going to use artillery in defense. Ha. Okay, so they get another combat tactic. Oh, gosh. So this says core artillery, and that means you draw again. Ha ha ha. Tank battalion. Good grief. All right, let's look up tank battalion. That's going to basically give them 1 more combat strength. Tank battalion. Add 1 to allied combat strength. Fills requirement for armor if allied units in the combat do not already have armor. They do. So they'll have artillery. They don't get 3 artilleries. They'll just get 1 artillery benefit. Thank goodness. So it's really now 8 attacking 3. So it's 2 to 1. It really didn't change. It's still 2 to 1. So that tank battalion did not benefit them. Minimum draw is 2. So let's pull our 2 chips. 1, 2. Excellent. So defender has artillery. The P means this is the side we use of the chip. Okay, so that's going to absorb a hit. Oh wow, defender artillery. Again, this is the priority side with the little P. Attacker takes a hit. That is the minimum draw. This card says that we're going to break off attacking at the first attacker hit. So we stop here. We don't draw more chips. And the attackers have to take 1 hit. It's going to be, we just looked at that rule, the stack. It's the stack with the most steps, and then it's the highest numbered. So it's going to end up being that piece takes a hit. Okay. Well, that card played to our benefit big time. So those cards go discard. We still look at the attack part of this. These pieces have all been activated and done something. That one did the fill the gap. This is the only one yet to consider. So on his attack, unit stack strength greater than a proximate German. So once again, he's greater strength than that. So he's going to advance and attack. It's going to say, let's see, that's valid. And that's valid. And that's valid. Nope, that's not, because we would create a gap. One of these two, and it's going to say move where it takes the most movement points to reach. So that's going to be here. Move to weakest qualifying target attack. Other proximate units in same corps reinforce. Everyone else is moved, so they're not valid to reinforce. Attacking will break off at A1. He gets artillery. He will also have combat screen. I don't think does him any good. That's only for a defender. Reduce the max allowed chits by 2. So that does not benefit him as the attacker. And I don't have any cards I'm going to use. Okay? So it's a small attack. It's 1.5 to 1 odds. Minimum draw is 1. Let's pull it out. It's blue, so all these other chips go back in the bucket. We're in broken. Ooh. So the attacker takes a hit and the defender takes a hit. So by the rule of the card, he's not going to draw any more chips. He's going to break off his attack. Okay, so we can take a hit and lose the piece. I could retreat. I am more than likely, again, if we go to the retreat rules, if I move into a hex occupied by a friendly unit in supply in an enemy zone of control, I don't have to take a hit. So I can retreat to here. If I went here, I could not. I'd have to take a hit because zone of control. Oh, wait a minute. Just had a brain lapse. I'm pretty sure I can retreat sideways like that because it's going into, yeah. I don't have the choice to go into a hex not in enemy zone of control. Into a hex occupied by a friendly unit in supply in an enemy zone of control. Okay. So he'll retreat back 1. The attacking piece has to take a hit. And that's it. That is going to conclude everything because all pieces in that core have been activated. The last card they had was a pullback, which we're not even going to check anything because all pieces were activated. Okay. That wraps up that Allied impulse. Pauses for a moment. Be right back. All right. Last German impulse of the day. We're going to use this card. Activate LXVII Corps. We have 3 pieces here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to set up for a later attack on here. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, oh. Too many dots. Let's see here. Because if I move them down, that's 3 pieces. Well, 1, 2, 3. We'll at least get this piece. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we'll do. We'll take this one then. 1. No, we can't. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Well, 1, 2. That's fine. We'll go 1, 2, 3. And with this armored, you know what? I want some stuff up in here. Ew, that's, oh, goodness. 1. Let me bring this one back. 1, 2, 3. Is that where he was? Or here? Oh, crap. Where was he? 1, 2. He was here or here. It's not going to make much difference, will it? Yes, it would. 1, 2. I moved him. I'll leave him there. This piece, I'm going to go 1. That becomes 2, 3, 4. Going to need to strengthen that with some other stuff. We'll deal with that later, but at least I'll keep them from doing much more than advancing to here if they so choose. All right, so that's their move. That was 2 command values. With this one, I'm going to use the activate any one unit. I'm going to activate that layer division because I want to call their bluff on this roadblock. So a 2 or less, the roadblock may have a piece. Anything else that goes away and I can start moving that piece. 10. So that roadblock was not a hidden piece. And that exposes a fuel dump. Saint Hubert. What might be best? Fuel dump, then down to here, perhaps. Ultimately, we want to get to the river. All right, I would have to do... I already have 2 fuels in my favor back there. Fuel dump. I'm never going to see those 2. Or that one. I would be stretching myself a big gap between that piece and everyone else. He would not be moving off of a victory point hex. If I attempted to come here, I'm going to do this. So, one, or are we? Well, that's a 4, roadblock check. That's a 5. Let's go for that one. 1, 2, 5 or less, a roadblock goes up. 2. And that ends our turn. All right, well, at least got that out of the way, and next time we activate them, we roll for that again. So at least kicked away the 1 roadblock. And that's it for the final Axis impulse. We have one more Allied impulse for the day. 8th Corps, we do not have a special. We have a deploy, all corps reserves. There is nothing in the reserve box. Do we have any that are considered out of contact? He's in contact, in contact, in contact. Okay. There's no expedite reserves. The next will be to possibly activate all units in corps. We can check right there. He's eligible for an improved position. Therefore, we do the activation sequence. I do need to look at the wandering behind enemy lines rule on him. Let's see where that is. All right. 10.8. Allied unit is wandering if all the following are true. Out of communication. It is out of communication. It's not in a town or a city. It's in a town. I guess they still have their telephone. So he's not wandering. So none of those. The only reason I said that is there's an action we would do if he was wandering. So now we'll draw 3 action cards. 1, 2, 3. Put them in order. So it'll be 02, 17, and 20. And we're only going to be looking at these 3 pieces. Biggest number on down. So piece number 14 we look at first. Fill the gap. Again, preserve the line, avoid surround, protect VP hex. Unit is proximate to an empty position to which a German unit is also proximate. No, he's good as is. Next piece. Again, he is supposed to preserve the line. So if he moved that way, he would widen this gap. So there is none of these where he could still preserve the line that is proximate to the Axis or the German. And the last piece is that guy. Same thing. He's not proximate to any position. So nothing on fill the gap. Move, starting with the lowest. That would be that guy. Not adjacent to a supply German unit. He is. So nobody does the move. Withdrawal under fire, starting with the biggest number first. Unit is surrounded or in danger of surround and hold value less than 5, proximate or adjacent, etc., etc. He's not in danger of surround, nor is he. That one is in danger of, he's actually in surround. No, he's not. Yes. If I moved that piece here, then we have zone of control. There's zone of control, zone of control, zone of control. So yeah, he's in danger of surround. Proximate or adjacent to a hex in Allied communication. So if he moved here, he could become in Allied communication because he could trace a path through a friendly and then off the board. Right now, he's not in communication because zone of control, not in zone of control. This becomes zone of control. So he's not in communication. Move to hex. Move to a hex in Allied communication, ignoring German zone of controls in the first hex entered. Move additional hexes if able, with preference given to a hex from which Allied supply can be traced. Then in a direction closest to withdrawal direction. Stop upon entering a hex not in danger of surround. All right. So that would be in Allied communication, going through him, as would that. So then it's, I can ignore German zone of controls in the first hex, move additional hexes with preference given to a hex from which Allied supply can be traced, then in direction closest to the withdrawal direction. Stop when entering a hex not in danger of surround. All right. So the blue arrow is the withdrawal direction. That would be there. He's no longer out of communication. He's no longer out of supply because the supply path can go through a friendly and then off the map it goes. So that'll be his withdrawal under fire move. And that concludes December 19th. Return all combat chips to the bin. Remove all dispersed and out of fuel markers from the map. No one is dispersed today. And so we'll advance to the 20th when we play again.